And today we have Christina Hinton. And Christina, welcome to my show.
Thank
Um,
you.
so tell me about yourself. What exactly do you do in the film industry?
Well, right now I'm working as a second AD, and a second AD is a second director. And what I do is I make lists. I make sure that I get every contact I can get to whatever project that we're doing, and make sure they're on board and write it on call sheets for films.
And so you have a job now. What is your job? Is that your job?
At this moment, yes,
Who do you work for?
Sam Ali.
Sam Ali. What does Sam Ali do?
He is an executive producer on films and a total joy to work with. He's
Okay.
really cool.
And what kind of films? Like his own personal films, or he does films for other people, or
Mostly 48s. That's what I've done with him. And then we also did a kids camp, which I helped him work on, teaching kids how to make movies.
so even while you're not working on a project, he still keeps you employed?
Absolutely. I'm
Wow.
always doing something.
Wow, that's awesome. All right, so tell me how you got inspired to want to get into the film industry.
Well, it's a funny story, actually. When I was a child, I was selected to be in a film called The Wobblies, and I had gone to acting school at Daiquiri Art Center down there, and there was a scout out there who actually saw me and said I worked well in theater. So I did two plays, and I was up for a third, but funds and what have you, when I was a kid, we just didn't have the money anymore, and so I got out of it. Fast forward about 40 years or whatever, and my friend had died, and I was feeling down, and I had another good friend who was getting into the movie business, and he was like, you were an actress as a child, and I'm getting ready to go, fill some seats for a commercial. Do you want to come? And I was like, nah, I don't think I'm ready yet. I'm still grieving, and he was like, oh, all right. And then he come by and he said, well, they're doing this movie Bloodfest, and you love horror flicks. You want to get dressed up in a costume and go be in Bloodfest? And I was like, nah, I don't think I'm ready yet. And then I said, I think I'm too old for the game. And that's, I actually said that. I think, my time had passed.
I know that feeling.
Yes.
Mm.
And he said, remember Kathy Bates? And I was like, she was a late bloomer. And he goes, yes. And he goes, and you can be too. It's no big deal. You've already dabbled in, so things are a little different from so many years, but, you catch on quick. So I said, well, maybe next time. And he was like, I am sick of hearing you say that. Quit grieving. He grabbed my phone, typed in this stuff, and said, now I want you to submit and get your measurements and all this stuff and submit to this film. And I said, all right, I'll do it. They called me back 20 minutes later. I guess there had already
Wow.
been a drawn sketch of me, and I fit it perfectly. So I go and I meet on set. It's, at the Round Rock Stadium, I'm out there, and, they're like, well, you get a wardrobe and all this, and I was like, really? I was like, what am I doing? They're like, you're a resident. And I was like, a resident for what? But they hadn't told us what it was for. And when I get in there, I find out a few days later, that we were working for Fear. And I ended up being a background extra on Fear.
Why, they
And
had to keep it a secret or
well,
something?
yeah, at the very beginning when they had come to Austin 2 years ago, I mean, they didn't want everybody knowing, they were here,
I don't even know what Fear is. Is that like a
Fear of the Walking
Netflix
Dead.
thing? Oh, The Walking Dead.
Yes,
Oh, they shot
yes.
they shot some of that here, huh?
Yes, they did. At the Round Rock Stadium out there. We did a whole season out there, and I liked it. It was so surreal. Like there is stage acting, and then there is getting out there and actually seeing, like, all these trucks brought in, all this stuff brought in,
Oh, the magnitude of the
Oh
production.
man, it was all of a sudden, it was just like, whoa, Whoa, whoa. And I mean, I did pretty good. I mean, I ended up moving up to, featured extra, getting seen more on film and whatnot,
How'd you manage to get up to feature extra?
Well, I'm not sure how I did exactly because you don't have any lines or whatever,
Uh,
but I guess I knew how to walk the right way and I could take direction. You know what
there
I
you go.
mean? And I met some really cool people. It was totally awesome. It was supposed to be set in spring, but we shot in the wintertime, so we were cold a lot. The funniest thing to me was when they'd say action, you'd see jackets fly. Because being set in spring, you can't have a jacket on. It'd be like 40 degrees outside, and all these jackets fly. And I mean, we killed it though. I mean, we were champs. Sometimes there'd be 18, 20-hour days. You know how it is on any set. And I realized, oh God, I wish I'd never stopped doing this. I love it. Well, when the show, my stint ended, I was sitting at the house and I was like, well, what do I do now? And I was like, well, I guess I just keep, submitting and hoping, And my friend came over and he said, well, we're making another movie and it's not released yet, so I can't talk about it. But it was with Sam, and it just so happened, he had worked on Fear. And when he saw me, we recognized each other, and he was like, hey. And I was like, hey. And he was like, so you've come to, work as a PA for my, one of my films? And I said, oh, absolutely. I'm totally stoked and on board for it. So I went and worked as a PA and enjoyed every moment of it. I was like, here's your drinks. And, how PA work is. You basically are a go get person.
Gopher,
Exactly. But I loved it. I was like, I'll be your gopher for sure, And so I did that. And after that, it's just kept coming
How many years?
and coming. I've done all this in 2 years.
Oh, so you've only had 2 years.
Yeah,
that you've been-
like straight up, maybe 2.5 years,
Before that, what were you doing?
I cleaned houses for a living.
Ah,
Yeah, like I wasn't really doing anything. Once I gotten out as a child, I just, I had a kid after that, got married, got a regular job, and just like, I was just like, well, my time's up, I guess I, not going to dabble into that
so
anymore.
now you're in the game full time.
Yeah.
That's a major accomplishment to get. I mean, like I've been trying to break into the industry here in Austin for many years, and I've never been able to do that. Get into this clique or meet the right people or something. So
I don't know
gotta
if I want to
you-
say I lucked out, you know what I mean? Because it's just,
you know what luck is. Luck is when opportunity meets preparation.
exactly. And
That's
and
luck.
it was just my time, and I was like, I'm grabbing it. I'm grabbing it all the way. When they called me back in 20 minutes, I was like, oh my God, what? And I didn't realize how big of a production I was on, until I found out what I was doing, and I was like, whoa. And like I said, I was there for almost a year, and every day I went, it's like there's no way of getting used to it. It's surreal every time. And it doesn't matter what project it is, whether it's a 48, okay? Or whether it's some, little spot where you're
There's
just.
no difference. There's no difference for
No,
you.
it's still as surreal to me as it ever was. And there is nothing more fun than being in a fantasy and cutting off the real world for a short time and actually living out that fantasy. And I play a lot of video games, and I'm going to tell you this right now. It's as exciting to me as getting lost in a video game. And plus, you have something that's with you forever. I mean, I could clean houses for the rest of my life, but it's not going to be written on paper. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not gonna have memorable moments.
No,
of
but everything that
cleaning
I've
that
done
house.
now, it's on paper. I've seen myself on, Netflix. I'm freaking out, or AMC, I'm like, oh my God, it's only 5 seconds of me, but man, there I am, And the most surreal moment was, talking to my husband, and I mean, we're watching, the TV show, and I'm like, there I am. And I mean, we're just two people that sit at the house, and he's like, It's like, I can't believe this right now. I'm like, no, it's, it's so surreal. I can't really explain it until you like see yourself doing it on TV, and you realize there I am on TV. It's a beautiful, wonderful feeling that just can't. And I want to learn everything. It's not just about acting. Everybody wants to be an actor. Everybody wants to be the greatest actor. But there's also other things that go into it that are just as amazing and just as important. All the little jobs that people do. The person I respected the most was this guy who carried around the paints. He pulled a little wagon and he had the paints. And that's what made all the cars look dirty. It's what made the windshields look like, they're stained with blood or whatever. And I mean, his job was amazing to me. And I mean, I admired him the most because he just, all these paints he was carrying, and it's like back-breaking work, and this guy has found a way to be in the movie industry without having to be an actor and getting to experience the whole thing of making a movie. And he's like our paint guy. It's awesome. It really is.
So, do you write?
No, I don't write. I'm gonna have to be honest. I'm not a good writer.
You got any inspiration to direct?
Maybe a little bit. I mean, I've seen how it's done. I'm sure I could get that feel of.
You're an assistant director?
Yes, I am. But
So-
I haven't, right now I'm just, backbone of directors. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So I'm not actually like, hey, get that camera over there. I'm making lists to
But
keep
you're taking notes, right?
Oh
You're sitting
my
there, you're
God, yes.
watching,
Oh,
you're
watching, taking notes, soaking it all in as much as I can. And if I do these things like second director, and I do these things like props, and I do these things like getting into special effects, I get all those feels of everything that's needed to become a director, or be able to work behind the camera, and in front of the camera. When you move up to second AD, you are the backbone of the first director, and it's like they need everything. They don't have time, for the paperwork. They don't have time, to do those things. They're too busy focusing on camera and focusing on direction, and in getting your stars to do what they need to do. I make sure it happens, whatever it is. If somebody needs something, oh my God, that prop's not there, I make sure it's there. Or, if I'm not creating lists, that's what I'm doing on the side besides, list or whatever. Or if somebody forgot something, I'm there. I have it. Or if, somebody's not going to be there, I know, and it's my job to figure out how I'm going to get that person replaced. Or, my job is to make everything smooth for the director and make sure that there are no worries while they're busy doing their thing. You know what I mean?
Would you say you're good at it?
I would say I'm pretty good at it. Yeah, the last
sound like
48, the last 48 I did, I rocked it. I mean, we were so tired.
I don't know what else to ask you in this interview.
Well, I did do some special effects on a project on a previous 48 that was called Eternium, I believe it was. And the special effects were very neat. I learned a lot, and you had learned how to literally put on masks with all kinds of stuff, cut them down, paint them up, put fake hair on people, and all that cool. I really liked the special effects because you are creating something that looks real on camera, even though it's not. Do you know what I mean? Like blood packets, stuff like that, messing with those type of things. And props. I really did like props too. Like, coming up, creating props that work for whatever, story that we're going to do. So I did props and special effects on a previous one that we had done. And I was pretty good at it. I didn't have
What kind
any.
of props did you make?
We had, you got like fake guns and little things like that. You got to come up with all kinds of like,
Fake guns, huh?
Well, the guns they have now have the little, orange thing on the end. I mean, you got to paint over those things. You got to look at all those little details to make things look real. Do you know what I mean? And
I've always used real guns. So.
Well, you're not allowed here. Yeah, they're more like, no, get yourself a gun and make it look real. I'm in a music video. I get shot.
You are?
Yes, I do. I cannot believe I forgot this. I know. I'm gonna go ahead and plug this guy. Why not?
Yeah.
Clado, the World Destroyer, is the name of the group. He's a really good rapper. He opened up for Paul Wall just recently, and I'm in one of his music videos, and I could pull it up and show it to you. It's actually pretty cool.
Why they shoot you?
Well, because they're robbing a store. And I'm the clerk behind the counter, and they rob the store, and they blow me away.
That's bad business, man.
Oh, man, it was so cool because it was set in San Antonio, where I'm from. So I was like in my old stomping grounds, and it looked so real because he's got this part where he's driving around in the car and he's got this demon guy next to him that took 7 hours to put this makeup on, by the way. Oh yeah, I got a thing where he's trying to take it off without the stuff, and we're laughing because he's like pulling his eyebrows off. It's awesome. But when they were driving around, all of a sudden I guess somebody had called in and said that somebody had been shot and their face was all messed up. And by the time they pulled back into, the convenience store, I'm inside, I'm just waiting to do my thing, and there are cops surrounding the whole place. They think we had hurt this guy and was driving him around and forcing him to do stuff. It was just a music video. Oh, yes. But once the police department found out, they were really cool. They totally blocked off the area for us so we wouldn't have any problems.
Wow.
Yay to the San Antonio police. And it went off without a hitch. It was wonderful. Really good experience of mine, and I totally enjoyed it. Totally enjoyed it.
Michael Garcia, you heard him talk about his project, right?
Uh-huh.
What do you think of that project?
I think it's amazing. And it kind of reminded me of when I was a kid, one of the plays that I had done was for child labor. Underage children having to work and, the child labor law. And I play a little girl that had got her hair ripped out by a machine. And I'm being interviewed by the police department, of, why I'm working, 15 hours a day instead of going to school, and why I got to wear this cap on my head, And so I can relate to, what he's talking about with immigration, and people, children not being treated well, people not being treated well, sex slavery, all those things that aren't good, that we need to be aware of and that we need to focus on, because it's really happening and it happens all the time.
So you would say this is an important story that it really needs to be told, huh?
Yes. Yes.
Is this a project that you would like to work on?
Oh, God, yes. Oh, my God, if you invited me on, and,
What would you like to do on this project?
I'd like to be in it. It sounds so neat, but I mean,
How?
whatever.
Like an acting role? You would
Yeah,
like to do
I
an
would
acting
love
role?
that. I mean, because I could probably, relate, totally. Yeah.
Pitch yourself right there. Say, okay, Michael.
Michael,
one.
use me. I'm here. You met me today. We're close. But whatever he used me for, even as a PA, man, I would do it.
Can you do that? Can you work with other people even though you're working for, what's the name of the company you work for?
48-hour project company.
No, Ali.
Oh, Ali Lava Productions.
Ali Lava Productions.
I can work with anyone I want. Of course, I love Ali Lava Productions. I mean, anything they want me to do, I'm on board anytime. I mean, it's like, oh yeah, I'm there. But I also do other projects as well, whatever comes my way. And I'm just like, if I've got the time for it, I'm doing it,
All right.
Yeah, I mean, time's short, you know. I know I'm almost 50. It's like the halfway mark is there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
So,
just hit 52 last week, so.
and I know I'm not going to live another 50 years. I'm not no George Burns. So, I've got to take it while I can, and like I said, I'm hungry and I want to know it all. And I'm anything that comes my way, I'm willing to do. I'm even going to sign up for the Robert Rodriguez, the next one again. I'm Robert, use me, man.
All right. Well, thank you, Christina. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for giving me an interview. It was a delight to get to know you. And I hope other people feel the same way and they reach out to you if they have an opportunity for you.
Oh,
So,
thank you for letting me be here. This was so cool, and I am so stoked that I got to do this, and I just loved it. It was
all
awesome.
right.